breaking news with Nariman Isa.
Good evening. Alberta has recorded its first measles death this year. Now, the province says the child was born prematurely after the mother contracted measles. The child died shortly after birth. Minister Adriana LaGrange's statement did not clarify how the child died or in which health zone. Her statement says measles during pregnancy can lead to serious complications, including miscarriage, preterm labor, and stillbirth. The province's website shows a little more than 1,900 cases reported since January, with 152 hospitalizations. Health experts have been warning about the seriousness of this outbreak for months, saying low vaccination rates are putting more pressure on hospitals.
We don't know whether the individual involved could have been vaccinated or for other medical reasons may not have been able to be vaccinated. But we know that if numbers are high enough in the community as a whole, we can garner herd protection. So, this is the textbook disease where we need to be proactive. We need to be preventative.
In July, Alberta reported the highest number of measles cases in North America on a per capita basis. A man wanted on a Canada-wide warrant in connection with extortion cases in Edmonton has been arrested at our airport. Arjun Sanon is accused of drive-by shootings in Edmonton, Horlick Park, and Winnipeg back in 2023. No one was hurt. Now, last year, a Canada-wide warrant was issued for the 21-year-old. Police say he was arrested last month at the airport, flying in from India. Police say the alleged ringleader of the extortions, Maninder Dhaliwal, is believed to be in the United Arab Emirates.
We are working with our federal government in trying to negotiate his extradition back to our country to be able to answer to those charges. The challenge right now is there is no extradition treaty in place with the United Arab Emirates, so it just makes the negotiations just a little more complex and time-consuming as a result.
To date, 6 individuals have been identified in connection to Project Gaslight. Police are once again urging the South Asian community to report any extortion attempts. An Alberta Health Union is considering job action.
HSA is strike ready.
Healthcare workers rallied at the Royal Alexandra Hospital today, calling for a better deal from the province. Last month, members of the Health Sciences Association of Alberta rejected a tentative agreement with Alberta Health Services. The deal included a 12% general wage increase over 4 years. But while a strike vote has not been called, the union says it is preparing for one.
We have not seen an action like this in the history of this union. So somebody has done something to upset these members, and they're here to put their voice out loud and clear. Not good enough was that deal? Get back to the table, or we're going to move to the next steps.
Following September's vote, Alberta's finance minister said the province was ready to return to the bargaining table. With just days to go until a possible teacher strike, many parents are looking for ways to keep their kids busy and taken care of. CTV's Marian Valdez-Carletti provides some ideas.
If teachers strike next week, the TELUS World of Science wants to bring the classroom to students.
We know it's a stressful time for families, so we want to do what we can to offer some camps during this time, and so we are going to start with a couple of camps per week.
It's planning to host day camps for students between grades 1 and 5, costing $80 per day. There's something for everyone to learn.
There will be some chemistry, some engineering, some coding, some robotics, a little bit of everything.
The Science Center says some dates are already full. Other day camps are being offered by the City of Edmonton at the John Walter Museum, Fort Edmonton Park, the Edmonton Valley Zoo, and the Matart Conservatory.
We're not looking to replace teachers and the curriculum. We're just trying to ensure that staff are able to share their knowledge and their love of their facilities.
Prices vary, and low-income families can use the city's leisure access program to help cut costs. Laser City is also preparing for the possibility of day camps.
We had our customers calling us and being like, hey, are you guys going to be doing these? I don't know what I'm doing with my kids. I have to go to work.
Its camps are $75 per day and include lunch, snacks, and drinks. Owner Rob Davey says the strike is an interesting dynamic for his business.
We don't want there to be a strike, right? We'd love that, everything kind of comes together and we don't have to do these, and we're ready for that to happen.
The City of Edmonton, TELUS World of Science, and Laser City say the camps would continue for as long as necessary. Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
Just one day after a push by our province to jumpstart a new bitumen pipeline to the West Coast, the opposition is mounting. Many BC First Nations are calling the proposal a non-starter. CTV's Tim Brooke has the details.
While she pushes to build a pipeline through northern BC, some First Nations leaders have a message for Alberta's Premier.
My message to her is go home, stay home, forget about it. Not going to happen.
Some Indigenous groups along potential pipeline routes plan to fight the Alberta government project.
The so-called consultation declaration on the part of Premier Smith is bogus. Our groups are already beginning to mobilize for the battle.
The Union of British Columbia Indian Chiefs, which represents 135 First Nations, is against the idea. So too is a group of coastal nations, including one that stretches to Prince Rupert, one of the potential pipeline destinations.
I work collaboratively with our hereditary chiefs who are the title holders, and our mandate from the title holders is that there will be no crude oil pipeline within our territory.
I think once people understand what's in front of them, what the opportunities are, especially the opportunity of lifting themselves and their quality of life to a better quality of life than they've ever had before, I think people will think about things a little differently.
Alberta is also calling for the West Coast tanker ban to be lifted, insisting transport of oil is much safer now than it was just a few years ago. And while there are clear challenges, there is some support in BC.
We're for responsible development of our natural resources. We know it can be done safely. We know it can be done with environmental protection.
And the CEO of one of the Alberta companies supporting the proposal says the majority of Canadians will benefit from another pipeline to the West Coast.
Not everybody is going to be 100% on side with all these projects, regardless of what project is. That's just not the way of any modern society. I mean, some people will like them, some people won't.
Tim Brooke, CTV News, Calgary.
One energy expert says even if the federal government were to approve a new pipeline as early as November, completing it will be a lengthy process. Richard Masson says the province's $14 million may not even be enough to cover the front-end work required just to put together a regulatory application. That includes picking a route, working with Indigenous stakeholders, impact benefit agreements, and more. He says even that process will take up to 3 years.
And then the feds are talking about a 2-year approval process after that. Then the construction period will be 3-4 years. So it's a long time. This is not a quick fix to any problem. It is something that's going to take, determined effort.
Masson says getting to that point would also require major commitments from energy companies, which have been so far reluctant to invest in new pipelines. 2 Canadian steel companies have signed on to a project that would connect Edmonton and Calgary. Algoma Steel and Supreme Steel partner are joining Transpod to build an ultra-high-speed rail line between the two cities. They will provide between 1.5 and 2 million tons of steel for the project.
There's more interest now to really fully develop Canadians' potential and making sure that, Canada will lead in key sectors like transportations moving forward.
Transpod is waiting for the province's approval to build a test track from downtown Edmonton, to the airport. Now it expects to hear back by the end of the year. The full project is expected to create up to 140,000 jobs. Edmontonians will vote for a new mayor and city council in about 2.5 weeks. Elections Edmonton says we may not find out who won until the next day. The provincial government banned electronic vote tabulators last spring. Elections Edmonton says ballot counting will start at the 220 voting stations after they have closed at 8 o'clock. There will also be a count center for all advanced votes, special ballots, and votes from institutions like hospitals and seniors' homes. That will also begin shortly shortly after polls close. Elections Edmonton says it anticipates some preliminary results will be available election night. However, officials say they don't expect full preliminary results until the next day. Wild North is seeing a surge in calls throughout the city about suspected cases of bird flu. While wildlife experts say the chances of people or their pets getting the illness is low, precautions should still be taken. CTV's Amanda Anderson reports.
A sign of the changing seasons as migratory birds head for warmer weather. But places they gather to prepare for that journey can become hotspots of their own.
Avian influenza, which we sort of commonly know it as the bird flu, has really reared its ugly head this year.
Wild North gets 6 to 12 calls a day about potentially infected birds, numbers it hasn't seen in a few years.
It's a highly pathogenic disease, so it's kind of transmitted from bird to bird to bird, and we've had a lot of positive results. In other words, birds tested positive for this disease as of late.
It's the first time I saw him swimming in circles after he started walking in circles. And after I watched that, I stopped recording and I sat and watched him for probably another 10 minutes, and he did the same thing.
Tracy Moffat spotted this goose on a pond in Westview Village last week.
We've been around geese our entire life, and we've lived in Westview Village for 4 years. And in the 4 years, we've never seen anything like that.
Dale Guino says swimming in tight circles is one of the classic symptoms of bird flu.
So if you see an animal that's kind of wandering around, a bird, it seems almost like it's drunk. It's got sort of odd head movements. Sometimes the head is sort of pulled back and swaying back and forth.
Just because it's called bird flu doesn't mean people or other animals aren't at risk.
Like people, it's difficult for other mammals to catch it directly from birds. However, if mammals are scavenging off or eating dead birds that are infected, they can get it.
He says avoid touching feathers and keep pets away from bird poop.
Your dog gets that poop in their little pads and things like that, and then licks their pads or something like that. There's a small chance it could be transferred to your pet. So you want to be cautious.
We got home, we took our shoes off outside, we washed everything down. We wiped everything off. We hand sanitized as much as we could with what we had at the house to make sure that we didn't bring anything inside the house, just to protect ourselves and the animals.
Anyone who spots a bird displaying signs of the avian flu can reach out to Wild North for guidance. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
A popular Edmonton park is almost ready to reopen. Horlick Park closed nearly 3 years ago for major renovations. CTV's Gates Warren takes us on a tour to show us the latest improvements.
Best free attraction in the middle of Edmonton.
The finishing touches are being put on Horlick Park. Sod and grass are getting laid, the final stage of electrical work is almost done, and brick by brick, pathways are nearly complete. The morning fog blanketing the park, eventually lifting to reveal the work being done to give the area a modern facelift.
In order to make sure that we address all the scopes of work that we anticipate around accessibility and safety and rehabbing the facilities and the infrastructure, we really had to focus that into the 3 years.
Most of the buildings have been around since the park originally opened in 1967. The upgrades now combine the old with the new.
The other real focus was in the washroom areas, adding accessible stalls and gender-inclusive stalls in those areas.
Accessibility was a focal point for the city. It added shared pathways to separate cars from bikes and pedestrians, and leading to areas where many gather, like the amphitheater.
We've added a ramp up to the stage, accessible ramp, as well as an accessible ramp down underneath the stage into the green room.
One of the biggest improvements that the city has added to the park is this new lakefront path and the seating area. Now, it gives people a better experience right up close to the lake, and while you still can't swim in it, the geese are definitely still having a great time. The work cost $134.5 million. The city says this project was necessary and felt an all-in approach over 3 years instead of closing parts of the park over a decade was the right move.
When it's closed down for 3 years, it is a long time, and I know a lot of families do gather here. There's a lot of events and programs that were here, and we're really excited to bring back that.
The end of the project is now in sight. One of Edmonton's most beloved parks is scheduled to open on time this coming winter. Gates Warren, CTV News, Edmonton.
Amazon is adding more than 550 seasonal jobs in Edmonton ahead of the holidays. As part of the company's plan to hire 7,000 seasonal employees across the country. Positions will be open in Amazon's fulfillment centers, sorting centers, and delivery stations. Amazon is also increasing its average wage by $1 to $24.50 an hour. Well, coming up next, we take a look at the top candidates running for the city's top job and where they stand on the big issues.
Good evening, folks. It was a warm one tonight, 19 degrees for a daytime high after a foggy start to the day. We'll see temperatures in the mid to high teens again tomorrow, but a big cool down on tap for the weekend. Those details in just a few minutes.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
After one term in office, Mayor Amarjeet Sohi is stepping aside this election, and 13 people are running to replace them. Now, many candidates have similar stances on major issues like taxes, safety, housing, and how Edmonton should grow. CTV City Hall reporter Jeremy Thompson spoke with the 5 most popular candidates as ranked by the Chamber of Commerce to find out what sets them apart.
Life has become more expensive since Edmontonians elected the current council in 2021. Post-pandemic inflation is still straining wallets, and property taxes have only added to that pressure over the last 4 years. Top mayoral candidates all say they'd bring down the tax burden and make life more affordable, but they've all got different visions for what that means.
In this last 4 years, I would describe the tax increases as excessive when we're talking 28% over 4 years.
Former councillor Michael Walters says he'll cut taxes, freeze transit fares, and lower utility rates if he becomes Edmonton's next mayor. For all the tax increases over the last 4 years, he believes Edmontonians aren't seeing their money in action.
It's about using the money we have wisely. That's why we have very well-paid city managers and deputy city managers that are to work with council to make sure that we're deploying the tax money that citizens give us for the services that they're buying.
Along with smarter spending on core city services like clearing snow and cutting grass, Walters wants to bring in more revenue by growing the industrial tax base, promising faster permitting and tax rates that compete with regions like Nisku or Atchison. All this with the goal of attracting 10 new industries to Edmonton.
Federal experience and business experience.
Raheem Jaffer isn't seeing value for taxes either. The Member of Parliament turned restaurant owner is promising to cancel the 6.4% tax increase currently in the budget for 2026, finding savings through audits.
I said I'm confident we can find $400 million just by how the city is not currently in its lane or spending on things that it shouldn't be.
He believes the city should stick to the basics, which means some subsidized programs would be cut. He didn't list which ones.
Those other things that are not core services, if you get out of the spending of them, they're not going to affect the average person because they're expecting the core services to be a priority.
I'm not cutting transit. I'm not cutting police. I'm not cutting, debt service. I'm not cutting operations.
Two-term councillor Tim Cardmell wants to lower business taxes to attract companies to the core and keep property tax increases roughly in line with inflation. He'd also like to rebuild the city budget with core services in mind, but says council's current plan would give city staff too much control.
I think it's just too much to ask administration to effectively cut their own budgets and prioritize what's within their own budgets because to them, everything's a priority. And I don't fault them for that.
Let's shine brighter together, guys.
Political newcomer Omar Mohammed is promising a direct approach to city spending.
That we need to pause all proposed non-essential major capital projects.
The pediatric dental surgeon is critical of what he views as nice-to-haves in city projects, like the velodrome that's part of the new Coronation Rec Center. With him as mayor, he says property taxes wouldn't budge.
Why are we buying these luxury items? To me, that's like buying a Ferrari at home when I don't have milk in the fridge. Not acceptable, right? Not when we have the problems we have in our city.
Every other candidate is trying to promise the world that you can have all of these incredible services and amenities and we can cut your taxes. That's not realistic. It's actually misleading.
Andrew Knack says 3 terms on council have taught him the true cost of tax cuts. His plan is to keep building the projects he believes a growing city should have while avoiding surprise tax increases like the 9% bump in 2024.
Roads that need to be widened, rec centers to build, libraries to build, fire halls. We're short 4 fire halls in this city right now. These amenities, this type of infrastructure is critical to people's quality of life.
While taxes are a major cost driver, the candidates have more ideas to make life in Edmonton more affordable. Mohammed is pitching a subsidized grocery store for low-income Edmontonians. Jaffer and Walters want to bring back free parking and ditch the bag fee in the city's single-use items bylaw, while Cartmel has pledged to repeal the whole thing. NAC promises to expand subsidized access to transit, libraries, and rec centers. The outgoing council directed a major cost-cutting exercise that trimmed $60 million from the 4-year operating budget. Staff then found a further $160 million in the budget to reallocate to council priorities like snow clearing, transit, encampment response, and tax cuts. Whoever takes over as mayor will have to get creative to find more savings. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Programming brought to you by the music of Star Wars with your Edmonton Symphony Orchestra. Learn more at winspearcenter.com.
Welcome back. Had some early morning rain, then some fog. As temperatures dropped to 4 degrees this morning, but with the sunshine this afternoon, 6 degrees above average, 19 for a daytime high. We'll be around 18 or 19 for a high again tomorrow, depending on how quickly this cloud cover rolls in through the afternoon. Sunny in the morning, but there's the cold front approaching later in the day. So we'll get some increase in cloud through the afternoon. There is some much cooler air lurking behind that cold front for Saturday, Sunday, but not ahead of it tomorrow. We're still up to about 18 or 19. And then as the cold front goes through, you'll see the wind kick up a little bit, and we get a chance of some showers in the Edmonton area. Could be as early as supper time. Through the early evening is probably the best bet, but even overnight there's a chance of a couple scattered showers. Then through the day Saturday, a mix of sun and cloud. We'll see some showers here in the northeast, some rain in Grand Prairie in the morning that may briefly flip over to some wet flurries. You'll clear out though Saturday afternoon as the snow starts to develop later in the day Saturday through the foothills, through the mountain parks. Red Deer, I think it's just rain for you. We'll have to keep an eye. We've got snow in the mountains this weekend. And for the Thanksgiving long weekend, I think parts of the province could see some snow as well. 7 degrees in Fort McMurray, 5 in Grand Prairie, just 1 in Red Deer tomorrow morning. We'll drop to about 4 degrees here in the city. It'll be in the 18, 19 range across the northeast, a little cooler in the northwest, a little cloudier as well. Highs of about 13 degrees, 13 as well into Jasper. 18s for Red Deer, Calgary with some sunshine. Lloydminster up to about 20 tomorrow afternoon. We'll be 18 or 19 with some increasing afternoon cloud, 60% chance of late day showers. This is more like an evening shower risk. I think daytime hours should be dry, mixed sun and cloud. Cooler, 12 degrees on Saturday. And by Sunday, we're below 0 to start the day and up to about 12 degrees with a mixed sun and cloud in the afternoon. Another cool one there Monday, and then a brief warm-up for next week before things cool off in a big way once again for the Thanksgiving long weekend. That is your forecast.
An Edmonton woman is competing in the new season of MasterChef Canada, which starts tonight. Veronica McCrae is the founder of The Good Place, an Edmonton organization dedicated to strengthening the Indigenous community and empower others in their healing journey.
As an Indigenous woman, I wanted to bring representation to television in the culinary world and advocate for food security and hopefully be a positive role model for Indigenous youth of Canada.
The first episode of MasterChef Canada Season 8 aired earlier tonight, right here on CTV. Stony Plain Road Dining Week is back for its 2nd year. It was created as a way for businesses to gain some exposure as LRT construction continues. CTV's Merrick Takash has more.
Construction on the LRT Valley Line has taken over Stony Plain Road, and to some, it seems like there's no end in sight.
All the lights are completely switched, and they're constantly blocking traffic.
It's been frustrating and bad for some businesses, including the owners of CH Cafeteria on 148th Street.
I don't know, 3-4 years, and nobody noticed that it's really advanced.
Stony Plain Road Dining Week is now underway, an attempt to bring back missing restaurant customers.
And we just wanted to do something that promotes them and the area, having had so much construction and change in this area for the last couple of years.
El Corazon restaurant says it has lost 60% of its customer base because of construction.
It's just hard to get here, right? It's hard to get here, and they're stuck in traffic. They're stuck idling. What used to be a 5-10 minute drive is now turned into a 35-40 minute drive for our customers.
Pho Number One says they have seen a huge drop in customers.
I cannot believe it.
this month, and we open, but just about 30% customer or 20% customer come in.
The goal is to attract as much attention to businesses in the area as possible over the next 10 days.
It's been a challenge, right? I mean, it's going on to 2.5 years of this right now. So, we're luckily as a resilient group of business owners around here.
Dining week wraps up Sunday, October 12th. Construction is scheduled to continue until 2028. Merrick Takash, CTV News, Edmonton.
That's all the time we have for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good rest of your evening. Good night.